I share many stories, which is also right important topics that I'm teaching you spiritual wisdoms again, unknown and to some degree known, but then I add unknown to it in this episode, right? But before that, I'll just tell you this other information that I didn't add to it, and that is the fact that since I tell you I'm not a regular human, I'm supernatural. Um, that means I'm like your prophets, right? Like Jesus, Muhammad, okay, but that means they're supernatural also. And that means we're created in a way where we're stronger than humans and demons. So you cannot touch us or bother us or do evil around us. And it's only God himself, not demons, not Satan, God who puts us in a program that's called demonic persecution. And they follow you before your birth until 30 something years old. And okay, the behaviors they're doing is nothing but right, trying to bother you, touch you, put you in jail, which like that. It's behaviors where you actually right doing something you would say is like fake dominant, but it's not real. It's just how we learn things, and it's a trial, obviously, because that's normally not possible. And you're blind as a human when you're being possessed if you're evil, and if you've ever been used to do these horrible things to someone around, like someone like me or your prophets in the past, and future ones like Mahdi, Jesus, okay, like that. It's just the worst humans that will be used. Okay. So it's not real, okay? It's not directed at me or anybody. It's not real. And demons are submissive to me and they're not doing anything. God is making them do it. So they can't say no. They can't get out of the situation. God makes them. It's not them being some cool fake thing, trying to actually follow me and chase me across the earth. That's fake. It's me who's going to kick them out of this earth, okay? So it's fake. God puts us in it. That's why we can't get out of the situation because God doesn't want to get us out of it. Until he wants to help you, you're not going to get out of it. It's like that. But you cannot kill or sort of attack these human beings like prophets and me's. It's just generic harassment we go through. Okay. So for that reason, I remember one example, just one story I want to add to this episode before you listen to this episode. And that is, there are times that God has allowed Muslims to see me going through that demonic persecution. One day when you know who I am in the future, some of these Muslims might be like, oh my God, you were right there next to us, right? And we couldn't help you, and or just at least we weren't even gonna allow by God to help you, but at least like we didn't like that. Just know God has put something in their heart always, just heavy sort of concern. And I would say specifically just 2 times that I've seen that, which is one, when God made demons, right, possess bad humans to accuse me of crime and then put me in jail and okay, then accuse me of mental illness in order to cover up, my innocence. That I don't belong in that jail, okay? Which is what they've always done to prophets, accuse them of being crazy, Today, it's called mental illness in order to get away with what it really is trying to say, right? Okay, right? Okay. That was a situation where one time when I was in jail, I would recite ayat kursi a lot. Back then, I didn't know how to pray against demonic spirits because I learned that from the Bible. Okay, so that's another thing that I also am being used by God to teach you. Okay, that is his book, also the Bible. You're supposed to use it. Take the good from both books, the Qur'an, the Bible, leave the bad because they're both corrupted and there's evil in both. Okay, first would be perversion, sexism, and then the rest. Okay. So, right, everything is going to center, therefore, on perversion. Perversion. You're going to see perversion everywhere. And then the other ones that are already in religion, they're being glorified and called normal. And that's what me and prophets and anyone in the future who is, right, like Mahdi, Jesus, that's what we're all going to stop. Just perversion, We didn't come to do anything else, but just simply stop whatever your religions are centered on, That, obviously deep in your heart is evil, but you're not calling it evil. Okay, so then there you go. I remember being in that jail since I didn't know how to pray against demons that Bible way, right? Which again, I've edited to my own version, right? Since there's obviously corruption in the Bible. It's calling Jesus as the God. And okay. We just use ayat kursi, which is certain couple of verses in the Qur'an. I use other chapters of the Qur'an too, okay? But this one I specifically learned. And it would help, but it's not perfect, because that's how the Qur'an is corrupted. It cannot help you against demons. It cannot get jinn out of people, jinn, which is just demonic spirits. It cannot get, right, demons out of Muslims, their bodies. They recite Qur'an all the time, but it doesn't come out, okay? Because you're supposed to command them. You're not supposed to recite a Qur'an on them, okay? And a lot of them will not come out of you because you're very sinful. You agree with the perversion and the sexism in your religion, Islam. All the evil in Islam, you call it, no, you don't want to come against it. So those demons are possessing you for that reason, okay, as Muslims and Christians, etc., for whatever evil your book said. Okay, so they're not going to come out of your body when you ask God to help you, you know? You have to give up the sin. Okay, anyways, for that reason, that's another evidence against Muslims, Christians, when they act like their religion is not corrupted. This is another way to shut them down because they're possessed. You know what I mean? For these sins they commit. You cannot say, right, you're good to go. How are you good to go if you're all possessed? You know what I mean? The possession to some degree is due to sin. Okay, so for that reason, let's go on. This example of a story where in that jail I was reciting Ayat Kursi, and this, I think it was a Muslim male. It's possible he's Muslim, but I remember this, right? I don't remember his race specifically. Maybe it was Arab, I don't know. But I remember he just stood up from his cell because, right, I was in jail. I'm in the female section, but they were transferring me, you know, throughout the jail, right? All they would do is accuse me of being suicidal after they personally denied me food, you know? Because, get it? They're abusing me. They're not giving me food. But then in order to get away with it, see what they're doing? They just want to get away with it. Since it's a horrible thing to do to someone. That's murder, obviously. Attempted murder, right? They accuse you of not wanting to eat. So a lot of human beings in jail right now are being accused of being suicidal or being heavily mentally ill, that already are mentally ill, and ones who are not even mentally ill, because that's a way that those jail employees are getting away with the way they're torturing these people. They don't give them food. They don't give them their hygiene products. They don't give them what they need. They don't let them call their family or call friends or call a detective, anybody, attorney. And it's like, in order to get away with the crime they're doing against you, they just accuse you of not wanting those things yourself. Oh, she doesn't want to come to court. He doesn't want to come to court. Yeah, so-and-so was just sleeping. Well, no. They brutalized the person fainted. Like that. You get it's just the way of getting away with it. They denied you food. You're so skinny. You're starving. You're dying. You might faint. And then they might be like, look, they tried to commit suicide. We need to get a doctor's agreement to put them in a psych. It's just a way to torture people more. And you might be like, why are they doing that? Because they're perverts. I told you, perversion is all we're going to get rid of. So perversion is entering multiple areas like the medical field. Where's the other areas? The government and all other places. And in order to get away with it, it just wants to touch your body, right? Okay, so it's coming up. Demons came up with mental illness. It doesn't exist. It just means people are possessed, okay? So for that reason, and other people are not, the behavior, the problem they're having is not due to being possessed, right? It can happen to someone who's possessed or not, but it doesn't matter because it's just demonic oppression, right? Christians do that sort of thing too. They should call it demonic oppression. But the problem is they still agree mental illness exists. That's the problem with Muslims and Christians today. They're not the original people in past history who are good people of their forefathers, because they will not admit that mental illness doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. It's just demonic possession. I don't know what the hell is wrong with you guys. And the other stuff is oppression to the body and mind. Sihr and witchcraft is happening to people. Okay. You're all hypocrites and liars. And you're accusing someone of at least having. No, there's no such thing as mental illness. We're finished. Okay. So that's why in the demonic persecution, the people God uses, like your prophets and me, to stop corruptions in religion, right? Lies in religion. That's all we're accused of. Whatever we came to stop is what we're accused of. A criminal, we came to stop criminals, and mental illness, okay? Because it doesn't exist. We're going to help get demons out of your body. None of you are going to be sick anymore with that, whatever you call mental illness. No one needs to put a pill in your body, okay? 2, there you go. That's perversion. They just want to touch people's body as demons. So they possess perverted humans, and they came up with mental illness as a way to then see, when they label you mentally ill, now they get to strip you. They take you to a hospital. Now they get to, right, drug you. That's a way to touch your body. It's just touching the body. They just want to touch people's bodies. So they want to create a way to create a situation they label medical or something, you know? And in situations where people actually have real, actual medical, this is not medical, obviously, because mental illness doesn't exist. I just told you. Only disease exists. Okay. Again, depression, anxiety, all that stuff does exist. I just told you. It's not called mental illness. You see? I'm not saying your mind doesn't get attacked. No, I'm saying it's not an illness, okay? Demons are attacking you, okay? That's what I mean. Right? Okay, so what I'm saying is, you see that vehicle, that sound? That's witchcraft. I just forgot what I was going to tell you. I'm going to pause this. So, right, the situations that you would say is actually truly medical, right? Medical. Then, okay, doctors and nurses and just health staff and medical staff are the evil ones taking advantage of it too. Demons are going to use them, obviously, just as they've been doing all these years. But now new ways are coming up, obviously. That's more covert. And, of course, they're also trying to touch people's bodies, see people's private parts. And just like why a cop can ask you for an ID in situations where it's not required like that, they're also going to maybe ask you to expose yourself in situations that, okay, it's not, you get me, just the way God created, maybe that moment you have a disease, maybe in your private part. It's not situations that, yes, it's very disturbing, right? God puts people in those situations, right? He creates such situations where humans have to help you like that. Yeah, but you get me? It's not those normal times. It's a moment that a doctor is actually taking advantage of the patient, doctor situation, and they're trying to see your body. Okay, the intent is what we're talking about. Okay, so okay, they'll abuse their job like that, the way a cop could abuse their job like that, because the intention, right? Perversion. They just want to touch you. So perversion is entering everything. You know, it's any situation where you could touch a human and it's normal. Perversion is gonna enter and is gonna try to make it seem as if it's that situation, right? So they can actually touch you, see you like that. Perversion is entering the picture, okay? So, perversion. Okay, you're all gonna... Okay, so because exactly, it's not from God, okay? It's not from God. The perversion religion is from demons. They corrupted books using people they're possessing like these ones to just touch the book, okay? Okay, and only is an extra power God gave Satan to corrupt scripture. Humans cannot touch God's books because they're supernatural. So only supernatural beings like demons can actually corrupt scripture. That's your evidence humans didn't do it in that sense. They were just possessed because, you know, demons don't have a body to come here personally. And only God knows if he actually allowed them to do that. But just technically, they possessed humans. But okay, so for that reason, that example of that story, I believe this was a Muslim male, right? They took me out of the female section of the jail. And okay, now I'm in the male section of the jail. They're just transferring me. Right? In situations where you don't need a handcuff on, okay, they tell me, right, you have to have handcuffs on. And God is just showing me the evil in these environments. I'm not the one going through these things. It's not possible for me to have such things happen around me. Okay, I just told you I'm supernatural. Humans cannot do evil around me or demons. You can't do nothing around me if you knew who I was. You're blind and it's fake. It's just God's way of teaching me these institutions that you've set up, what's wrong with it, so that we demolish it, because I'm going to get rid of it, okay? Your future prophets are going to get rid of it. This is fake, okay? This stuff is evil. We're not supposed to have jails and prisons and mental hospitals. These places, this is not God's nature for you as punishments. No, okay? It's from demons. It's just a way to touch people, steal people's rights, enslave people, and just call it legal and whatever, okay? So that's why prophets always, when they were here in history, you always know whatever they would tell you, right, from God, you always knew it clashed with governments. You agree? It always clashed with religious figures, and it always clashed with government figures, because those are the main areas that demons obviously enter, right? And they really use them heavily because they control the world. A government will control a country, their laws, and a religion would control people's beliefs, their daily lifestyle, and what they call right and wrong. Okay, so when the truth from God himself comes down through a prophet, which is a supernatural person, okay, it's not a regular human, therefore you cannot kill them or anything. That's another corruption in religion. Okay, they're always gonna come against governments and religion. They're not gonna hold hands with religion. They're gonna come against whatever religion you have that moment. They're just only gonna accept the good in it. Okay, so Mahdi, Jesus are gonna come against the current Islam and Christianity and Judaism. Okay, they're only gonna take the good out. But the other stuff, hell no. They're going to tell you your religions are good, okay? And your governments, they're going to tell you need to be abolished. New systems of God's laws are going to be there in the system, right? The way God, it's not going to be these ways where you lock people up. That's why none of you like it when a cop wants to arrest you and handcuff you. Even if you're someone who, right, isn't necessarily African-American, that sort of trauma, it doesn't matter who you are. That moment, you're going to resist. Even though you're like, when you were watching that video, you probably... What's the point of resisting? They're going to arrest you anyway. Just go through the system. Just come back and sue them later. If you're that kind of chill person, I don't care. That moment they want to arrest you, you're going to resist, because that's actually our nature from God. That's him telling you and I, we're not supposed to be handcuffed, because that's a dangerous situation. Correct? Your hands are your self-defense. They're handcuffing what you would use to exactly protect yourself. So people should be taken away from society in proper ways. You get me? You should not handcuff a human being. That's dangerous. Okay, whoever that moment is evil that's driving that car could try to do evil. Hell no, you and I gonna argue about this common sense stuff, right? So that's why we don't like handcuff, because it's evil. Okay. Lastly, okay, everybody. That's the other thing. I just saw this Muslim male. I think it's Muslim. It's so sad. A lot of people are in jails and prisons and mental hospitals being drugged and abused and accused of things, and no one knows what's happening to them. And you might be like, but how? You know, when Muslims at least know if a Muslim is in jail, they usually know what's happening to each other. Because the current Muslims, for example, are evil. They're all going to go to hell. You're going to get punished very soon within the next year, just so you know when Mahdi is about to arrive. So what I'm trying to say is, because you're all evil and a small minority is good, and a lot of them, I pray that God puts them into Christianity to save their life. And hell no, you're going to touch their bodies. God will protect them. I've made a lot of prayers and everything's going to go according to plan. Again, it's not me doing it. God is just using me to pray, just so you know who I am in the future. It's still his will and it's still what he's doing to protect his creation. I don't protect you, okay? But what I'm saying is, for that reason, you're going to see it's not going to make sense. Because usually Muslims are connected and they help each other. And exactly. They're suffering because these are the Muslims who usually either they're evil or they're good, and the family is targeting them. You know? Sometimes they're good. They're targeting them. This the family that's Muslim, for example, they have the quality that all narcissists have. And they obviously have narcissistic personality disorder. They have that quality where they want to arrest... they want to accuse their family members or someone they know who's Muslim of either being a criminal or being a threat to themselves, aka mental illness, okay? Because that's just their way of getting rid of this person that is moral, get it? That's not like them. Or it's not even about morality, just this Muslim is not treating themselves like an object to these Muslims. They're not being submissive to this creation of God, right? You're not supposed to be submissive to God's creation. They're not, right? Allowing these evil families, the structures they have as Muslims, right? Whether they're Arabs or Africans, usually whoever Islam enters, they're all going to have that dangerous cult-like example, right? The submissiveness. Everybody has to obey somebody, okay? Females have to obey males. You all have to obey the parents. This sort of obedience nonsense, okay? God has been, his spot as a creator, the obedience to him has been taken, you know, and it's been given to these names I just told you, okay? So Muslims are always trying to control each other as a family structure. So it's a very dangerous situation if you're born to their families. You don't know how to exit. They'll follow you, they'll stalk you, they're murderers, okay? And they get away with it every day. It's crazy. So, and I actually know why, how to some degree they get away with it if non-Muslims don't obviously like them, you know? It's because demons are possessing non-Muslims in a way that they don't even try to solve crimes that Muslims commit. Because a lot of them in the UK and these countries like the US, Muslims are stalking their family members and trying to kill them, you know, because maybe they leave the religion or they just do something they consider sin. You get me? These things that you would say, these humans who are not Muslim, right, would find that as obviously correctly, right, what it should be, right, an evil thing, a crime, they would obviously try to put you in prison, okay? It's like they don't look for you. Their governments don't seem to target you. But have you noticed their governments are more than happy to look for someone who's Muslim who didn't do something that day and label them a terrorist? That's how you know evil is ruling this world, you know? Because these non-Muslims are not taking advantage of situations where Muslims really could be labeled evil if they hate you so much, right? And actually take advantage of it because it's actually true. You really are committing crime and be like, hey, look, we were right. They're crazy. Let's kick them out. They're not. It's so sad because that's how you know they're evil, and their demon is going to protect them, the evil Muslims. Demons protect evil human beings. That's one thing God taught me, which is very disturbing. And Muslims know that. They know a demon works with them and helps them, and that they know a lot of them are not being punished because of demons, okay? Of course, they work with their demons even more than, right? And evil humans overall, not just Muslims, okay? They are all, their demons protect them, okay? So that's another reason why evil humans don't die, you know? It's because demons are actually protecting them. That day, they were supposed to go to jail, right? Because, right, they committed something. They're going to confuse a cop that was looking for that human and arrest a normal person. That's how demons protect evil human beings. They intervene in situations because they're possessing the average human. They're possessing 98% and more of the human race. That's almost everybody you're possessing. So if there was anybody right now in the entire world that's not possessed, it's me. It's just me and your prophets who are not possessed. So that's what the demonic persecution God puts us into. It's always trying to accuse us of being mentally ill. Get it? Religiously, that just means you're possessed by demons. It's, it's trying to accuse us of what we're not. Because we came to stop those things. You have it. That's your qualities. But we came to help you. So it's like we're being accused of it as a trial. Get it? It's a trial. It's a test. You can obviously... Wow. Wow. That is torturous, right? To you as a creation, if that's what you're being accused of. Something you're not, you know? Okay, so... For that reason, I remember this Muslim male. See, this is becoming very long anyways. I'll just make it another episode. I think, right, they were Muslim, but either way, I don't know. Definitely they were Arab or something. In terms of the ethnicity. I just remember it's like he got frightened, you know, because of his gut waking him up. Because I'm reading Ayat Kursi really loud in that jail as I'm being escorted in that hallway. Back then I didn't understand. I didn't understand. Right now I understand a lot of things. Back then I didn't understand what God was putting me into as much. So, to some degree, right, I was very stressed out back then. But now I'm more relaxed when I see crazy behavior around me. Right? Like humans being possessed to do these fake dominant things around me. You cannot touch me or arrest me as a human being. I'm supernatural. I'm not human like you. The fact that God puts me in this program like prophets, you don't know how torturous that is to me psychologically. That you have the power to do something you cannot actually do. Touch me, arrest me. Okay, but since that's not who I am, that means that's going to stop. That means I'm going to be that supernatural person very soon when this persecution, fake nonsense stops. And I will be that supernatural powerful person and you're all going to behave. Okay, since that's actually who I am going to become that person. It doesn't mean I'm going to be like this forever. Then how am I supernatural, correct? It means it's just for a certain time. It's a trial that I don't get to live that way. Because it's a trial. Okay, but if I'm telling you I'm powerful and supernatural, then you might then say to me, then why are you not like that? I will be like that. Okay, this nonsense has to stop. Which is like the next few months, okay? Okay, so for that reason, that's also what prophets experienced. Yes, demons followed them, which means bad people bothered them, persecution, etc. But it was not humans, it was demons' goodness. And two, okay, everybody, it stopped. Okay, so no one's going to kill nobody. No one's going to bother nobody. No one's going to follow you as a prophet. When you're a prophet, you're actually powerful and supernatural. You also have supernatural abilities. You can kill people using supernatural abilities. All these characters like Naruto, Avatar, The Last Airbender, all these cool mythology characters, some goddess and goddesses, all these characters, their supernatural powers is actually inspired by the powers God used to give prophets. Okay? So they are actually supernatural and they're scary and they're powerful. They have supernatural powers. Okay? So that's who they are when they're actually a prophet. It's only before God sort of makes them go and do something about his religion, right? Like actually go and preach. And so, like they're already a prophet. Yes, you're already created as God's prophet. You're just blind. You're just made to live this life, not knowing who you are for some time. Okay, then God tells you like that. Right? Okay, but the prophet, right? The sort of prophet. You're actually sealed as a prophet. That is when you actually have your supernatural abilities. Okay? And now God is going to take that fake power that doesn't exist. He puts that into demons. He's going to take that away from demons. Now they cannot come here possessing humans, which is a weaker creation than a prophet, right? Because you're not supernatural like them. You're going to lose that power now that you don't have. See? I didn't say you have a power, but then you lost. You don't have it. God did it. It's fake. I have to keep protecting the honor of my prophets and me. Okay? I sometimes try to make this funny. Okay, so anyways, I remember this Muslim, right? He just rose up from his jail cell. And I saw that sort of pain in his face, I know he was abused. But I also know that he was abused also because of the family. You know what I mean? Like, I just know he comes from the typical evil Muslim family, which is just I told you, it's a typical Muslim family. They're just evil. They're demons. And they just abuse each other. They follow the evil in their religion. Therefore, evil and abuse is going to happen, obviously, from within and outside. And I just felt his pain. I felt the loneliness. I felt the fact that he felt stuck in that non-Muslim jail with no source, no help, right? It's not like Muslims will help him because they're evil, obviously. And I'm sure they abused him as a kid and just growing up. It's just a typical abusive Muslim family. But see, because that human usually doesn't become moral themselves, right? They're just a victim and they all victimize each other. Then they just grow up sort of glorifying their family. You know, if you ask them, they'll never tell you their families are bad. They'll never tell you they've been abused by them. Those Muslim males will never tell you they've been abused or nothing. So you might be thinking, oh, let me go talk to Muslims and help them and be a trauma healer. They're not going to tell you anything because that's the whole problem here. If they told people, the world would be a better place. If they were good people coming out of them and evil ones were over there and they separate from each other, our world will be a better place. Right? The future Prophet Mahdi would be happy. Jesus would be happy. Prophet Muhammad, who's no longer here, will be so proud. The problem is, not only are they all choosing to be evil except a small minority, but they don't cut each other off. They don't protect themselves from each other. And even if some do that, exactly, the others will chase them across the globe. We have demons here. Calling it something a God would tell you to do it. Follow you. See how evil it is? This whole religion acts like it teaches you love, right? How can your Lord tell you to chase your own blood siblings? Chase them across the globe and murder them. Goodbye, okay? Don't dishonor your Creator. If you believe He's so merciful to non-Muslims, He lets them not worship Him, they have free will, that free will has to apply to Muslims. You know, the same way they have the right to be disbelievers and walk this earth or be non-Muslims, right? Not disbelievers and just not know God or just like that. Just you know it would be evil for God to just kill someone just because they don't worship Him. Because exactly no one knows God, right? Just walk this earth, you're just born to a random family. They just taught you Buddhism. You know it's wrong, right, for God to kill them. So it's obviously wrong for Him, according, again, to His own laws, right? That morality is still, right? God is moral. He obviously is also evil and wrong for Him to kill someone who, and see, is even more bad in that sense because this person did actually used to worship God, right? You're actually more connected to God, correct? Because you actually worshipped Him. Imagine Him trying to kill you and being merciful to that non-Muslim over there. You can't be like, then God is merciful to non-Muslims. No, you're flipping your own statements. Because you like to use that to recruit non-Muslims into Islam. Saying that, right, they can not disbelieve, saying that they can be non-Muslims and no one's going to bother them. That's not rational. Because when you say they, it has to always be they until the end of time. Correct? They. Right? They, right? That's so-and-so like Julie. If Julie enters the religion and now wants to exit, and now you say to Julie, you're no longer like that non-Muslim you were. Now you're considered Muslim in the sense that now we have to kill you because you can't exit. But see, use your mind. She's still Julie. She's still Julie. How can you flip Julie in two directions? She was just a non-Muslim. She just didn't know who God is. She wasn't in this religion. She's ignorant. You tell her God believes she has the right to live. You know, He'll deal with her later. You would say that's then proof He's a just God, right? He doesn't just kill somebody, you know? Obviously, that's already proof. You don't see humans dying left and right, obviously, due to disbelief, right? That's what I'm saying. But then how can Julie, right, if now she wants to exit the religion, why would God not extend her the same mercy? Exactly. Just treat her like a non-Muslim again, you know? Just simply let her live again, call her back, guide her back the same way He's guiding non-Muslims who've never been Muslim. Wouldn't He just keep trying to guide you back also as a Muslim who left? That's what I'm saying. He will still treat you like someone who also has to be guided back. But two, if you need to be killed, okay, then Julie, who's a non-Muslim, who's ignorant, needs to be killed. Okay? So you're flipping your own words. You know? You have twisted fake logic. It's not logic. So he freaked out. He jumped because he heard me, right, reciting Ayat Kursi really loud, okay, in the hallway because I'm seeking God's protection. I'm not scared, obviously, but you get the point, right? It was still a bad situation. These demons were possessing cops to just take me from location to location every few times. Always accusing me of not eating, being suicidal, blah, 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 when they are preventing me from eating. They take my food away. They don't give me food. Right? They don't give me hygiene products because that's what insane people do. They don't eat and they don't take care of their hygiene. So what they do is they just don't give it to me, and then they accuse me of not wanting it as a way to then label you mentally ill, just like prophets. So this is how easy it is to get away with accusing prophets in history of being mentally ill. You might be like, who did it? Didn't they usually know someone who was kind, or their friend? Or you might say the same thing about me. You might be like, where's someone you know? Where's the good, maybe good, decent Muslim? Woo! It's because it means we're in an environment where decent people are not around. Prophets were probably in jail when they were being accused of mental illness. You know? It doesn't mean your community called you. Why the hell would random people just... You get me? Demons are crazy. Yes, they possess strangers to just accuse me all day. But it's still within logic. They still use ways to sort of set you up. You know? They still want to set you up. They want you to maybe do something, and then they like to confuse the meaning. Like that. You can protect yourself, you know? You can just relax and mind your business and avoid them. Like that, you can protect yourself. It's going to happen in a way that's very criminal if they accuse you, you know? It's not going to happen in an environment where your nice, decent teacher just accuses you because they got possessed. No, your teacher will treat you like the healthy person you were. Like that. So my teachers of the past, my coworkers of the past would never accuse me of anything. You know what I mean? Because they actually know you in that sense. Even though they don't know me, right? It's these strangers, therefore, usually when the persecution is happening and prophets are being accused of things, and someone like me who's going through the same thing as them, it's strangers who are usually accusing us, okay? But then at some point, God does make us get born to evil families. Okay, so I have an evil situation also like that, where I don't have my family. I'm just like Prophet Muhammad, I'm an orphan. You know, I don't have my family, and I think they died, and they're Arab, okay? But I was adopted by Africans. So they're not even my family, but this adopted family, right, that's from another race, is the evil type of Muslim that's stalking me across the globe. And if you ask them what happened, they're going to be like, we don't know, she just left us. They're narcissists. They have narcissistic personality disorder. They're mentally ill, but they are always trying to accuse victims of that because that's just the way in their mind to get away with the crime, the evil they do to people when they have that narcissistic personality disorder. They neglect people. Financially, emotionally, nutritionally. They just torture the child as the child grows up under their care in every area you can think of. So they're demons, because how can you be so categorized like that? How can you think so detailed? You know, they don't think about anything else but torturing children. Okay, but in humans just like this are the average Muslim family. So it's very disturbing. And also just the average humans in the world. I don't really think it's just necessarily Muslims only. It's like the Muslims just have an extreme version that we would say, because of that sort of corruption in the religion, the evil humans among them are using that. It doesn't mean the religion made them evil. Sorry. It just means they're using that. They're just using that, then do more evil. Right? They're already evil. The corruption in the religion is then being used to then do that more, you know? Try to stalk people, and I'll try to kill them, and push them back to foreign countries that they came from so they can try to kill people there and get away with it, cause rape, right, by calling it arranged marriage, or setting people up for the rape and by calling it some sort of situation where, right, maybe they chose someone for you. Ugh, it's just, whoo, I just want you human beings to know this. Whoever you are in this earth, one day when God tells you who I am, I want you to actually know I hate you Muslims. I actually hate you. And I hate evil human beings overall. Yes, so it doesn't matter if you're Muslim or Christian or Jew or Hindu. I just hate evil humans, and that's not something important. All good people would hate evil humans. Yes, but I just want you to know I actually don't like Muslims. Okay? I actually don't like you. Okay? So when God gives me my abilities, I'm coming after you, okay? I'm coming after all of you wicked human beings who torture God's creation. Whether you specifically use religion, right, like Muslims and Christians or others, the evil in your religions and books, or exactly evil is just evil. You're just using something else, or culture, or government. Oh, evil is going down the way it's supposed to. But since evil usually admits it's wrong, but Muslims are the only group in the world who will not admit they're evil. That's why I'm picking you first. See how rational that is? That's why I'm saying Muslim. I'm not saying evil human necessarily, because I want you to know you're different. You're a different breed of evil. You actually will never admit the wickedness you do. That's a high, woo! you don't know what I'm going to do. Okay? And you don't know what God is going to do. So, anyways, this male, and again, to some degree, a lot of Muslims are not evil. They just grow up in these families. They don't know how to deal with the evil in their religion. They just mind their business. Good and evil is everywhere, okay? But I just want you to know it's very rare. And a lot of them have left the religion and became Christians. And right now, the ones who were in Islam, I've already asked God to remove you and take you to Christianity and just take care of you. Again, God is using me to pray that way. You know, I don't want you to think that I protected you. Your Lord protected you. It's just He likes to make me do something. He accepts it as a way to then show you who I am to Him, okay? So yeah, you're going to see a lot of people entering Christianity. As Muslims, when you see that, I don't want you to be like, okay, no, I want you to know I caused it. I caused it. Because that's my way of trying to protect them, okay? And anyways, God will protect them. They're going to live and meet their next prophet. You wicked ones are going to die very soon. If you want to repent, that's always open for you, okay? But no one's going to accept some fake repentance nonsense because you're scared to death, okay? Obviously, God is going to judge you. You can't trick anybody. But just know that this Muslim male rose up from his jail cell. He was laying down. He just freaked out. It was that sort of fear. You know, it's like his heart was telling him, this is someone important to God, and this is a bad situation, and they're reciting Ayat Kursi, and I just knew his heart knew something, you know, versus just, what's going on? What did I just hear? It wasn't that sort of shock, you know. His heart knew I was right in a sort of supernatural situation, but he wouldn't probably call it supernatural. He just knows something is up, you know. I just remember that feeling he had because I know how humans feel. One of my abilities when I tell you I'm supernatural is I have, right, the power to know your feelings and thoughts and your intentions, okay? Including if you're possessed, your sins, the type of sins you do, etc., etc. Okay, so I know how he was feeling therefore, okay? And I'm just reciting Ayat Kursi. And see, God did that intentionally, maybe, right? Because I just randomly was made to stand in the hallway right there when it's, you would say, an environment where his jail cell, it was an isolated cell, he could see. Because I could have been far away. It was right in front of his jail cell. It just randomly happened. I don't see him. I'm just walking right in the hallway. These cops are there. These evil humans. And then I stop because they're like saying, let's stop here. Okay, and then I'm still reciting Ayat Kursi really loud, you know. And then, okay, you see? It woke him up. This Muslim in that, it woke him up hearing Ayat Kursi that loud. And like that sort of, you know, where you just, what happened? Like that. He rose up and his eyes were, it's like those eyes, you know, you know, when you're seeing some crime happen in front of you like that, he was, I don't want you to just think a human was seeing something like that. I want you to know that it was a supernatural event. Because when you know who I am in the future, you're going to be like, yeah, that was supernatural. If he's ever alive, right, and I prayed for him, God willing, hopefully he's a good Muslim. You'll join us one day. Hopefully you weren't wicked. But whoever you are, right, God will judge you accordingly. I've already prayed for everybody accordingly, no matter what level of evil you are. And my prayers are powerful since, right, I'm so-and-so, and I just can't tell you who I am. And it will help you. It will make a difference, and that's why God does that. Either way, God is the one protecting you. We're doing everything for you. Just because he created a system of prayer where me and prophets are told to pray for you, and we have authority, and our prayer is powerful, and things happen in God's eyes, doesn't mean we did anything, you know. He's always your Lord. He just creates that system because he likes you to also respect the people he created to help you. It's just a way to honor them, you know. But don't worship me and them, okay? So there you go. Worship the one who created such a system. See how logical that is? He made the system. So, right? He stood up and he's just listening. He's just watching what's going on, you know? He can't really articulate what's going on. And like that. Obviously, that means I was in the jail clothes, right? The pants, the shirts, no hijab. And I don't believe hijab is part of Islam, so don't worry. The sort of oppressive way of a religion, I'm telling you, is not from your Lord. You're all going to know that very soon. But of course, God is not going to tell females to put pants on like males, right? So the sort of pants part is the part that you're going to have to, again, pants is from God because, come on, you can't wear a skirt. You're still naked, right? You need something to protect your legs, right? So pants is normal. I just mean like the pants by themselves in a way that you would say, right? The current way, yeah. God will teach you, okay, the best way that he created as females for you to dress up. He's not going to take pants away from you, things like that. It's just the shape of your legs. How is it masculine? You have legs, they have legs. Pants is just this is how I am guided to teach you what's right and what's wrong. I use my mind like this. It's very smart, right? See, I didn't say it's not just, and I didn't use words like that is too gigantic and don't make sense. No, just look at the words I'm using. Pants are the exact shape of your legs. So whoever came up with it, God just guided them to look at the human body, the shape, and just come up with the first part of the human body, the torso, up to the sort of stomach area, the hips, right? God just guided the first human to come up with designing clothes like that, right? Just look at the shape of the body, that first half. And they came up with a shirt. The lower half came up with the pants. So why would that be for males only? That's just the human body, correct? Okay, so it's not sinful, obviously, for women to wear pants. Or technically, right, also to wear pants by themselves. It's just how, which way you get things like that is just like that, okay? Just so that they don't look like a male, correct? And so the males also, see, same thing. There's no sexism here. So that the males also don't have pants that is also similar to the female, you know? Like that. I've seen a lot of males, since your private parts are different, right? It's not like the female. Yours can actually be visible to people even if you're clothed, right? Obviously for you, the pants also and whatever you wear has to be very important in terms of how people design it. And I've seen that with my own eyes, males wearing pants and stuff, but it's too tight. So it's just gross. You get me? Their private parts is like that. So it's not just females here, okay? Even the males are doing this nonsense where it doesn't matter if they have clothes on. It's the clothes is not doing what their job is. The job of the clothes. Technically, it's for the private parts to not be visible. To not be too tight on you, you know, okay? That decency is gone. It's just gross. Okay, so, right? What else? Yeah, and then, right, I was reciting Ayat Kursi, and then I left. Like that. We go to the next section of that jail. If one day, right, when God tells the world who I am in the future, very soon, that Muslim male, if you're a Muslim or that human, if you're alive and you're like, wait a minute, they didn't really see my face, but if just God allows them to remember that moment, right, he doesn't take it out of their mind, including, right, this episode I recorded that I uploaded, another episode, these Muslims who were, see, it rarely happens during this sort of real deal demonic persecution where demons are possessing really evil cops and strangers that just stalk me and just try to put me in jail and mental hospital, right? Like prophets, right? That's really when I'm not around Muslims, you know? That's when God doesn't let me see Muslims. You know what I mean? Because to some degree, if I'm just generically around Muslims, demons cannot really possess non-Muslims who they're really using to sort of do the persecution. They cannot really possess non-Muslims, like cops, for example, and terrorize me when Muslims are there. Yeah, I just told you they're evil. The average Muslim is a bad person, yes. But are they loyal to each other? Yeah, correct? They're loyal to Muslims, correct? So, and are they all evil? No, some are just silent. You get me? They're just within that evil family structure, correct? Some are actually good. That's what I'm saying. If they saw a Muslim being terrorized, they would help you, correct? In that sense. So that's what I'm saying. When I'm actually suffering all these years, it's because demons are using non-Muslims. Okay? Which is going to be similar for Mahdi and Prophet Muhammad. And again, there were no Muslims in Prophet Muhammad's time, sadly. But then, I mean, they just probably were no Christians, you know, in that sense, right? And these Christians who could understand him back then. Which then were also the humans who helped him a lot, just so you know. That's what God has guided me to. Right? And then overall, right? Jesus is not going to go through persecution now. He's already gone through that hell. But you get me? For Mahdi, for example, the future, and yes, they're a prophet. They cannot be a random imam. Okay, everything's connected. That's why the Qur'an is corrupted. Someone else has to come and stop it again. You can't say your book is not corrupted. You have another person coming for a reason. Okay, so just know, for example, right, like someone like Mahdi, that last prophet, that's why you Muslims don't know where they are and where they're being terrorized also. Is because demons will use non-Muslims. You see how logical that is? And these non-Muslims don't know anything? Okay, I just told you. God makes demons do this stuff to people. Demons are not looking for you. They're not actually telling a president or a cop that you're so-and-so. What the hell? No. Oh my God, no. They're just mean. They're just bad people. Demon just possesses them. They accuse you. They just put you in a bad place. They just steal your job. It's like that. It's so generic. It's not okay because humans don't persecute prophets and someone like me. I just told you we're supernatural. You're not equal to us in strength. So how can you persecute us? Okay, so you're not plotting anything. You're not doing anything. There's no bad armies in this world looking for Mahdi right now. No one's looking for nobody. You don't know anything. Demons are doing it. Okay, but demons are not doing it either. God is making them do it as a way to put that prophet through a test, a trial, just so you learn things. And also so you suffer, because normally no one can do that around you, correct? It's like, that's it. That's the only two reasons. Trial, because normally that's not possible. You're supernatural and powerful. 2, so you learn things. That's it. It's literally the only 2 reasons. It's just we could keep going within those 2 reasons and tell you 50 things within them, right? But those are the 2 ways it goes and branches off, right? Like 2 big, large branches of a tree, like that. But I just want you to know, demons have to be specific with who they use. They're not really going to use Muslims when it comes to putting you out of jail or mental health. Because exactly, Muslims don't just go up to people and accuse them of crime. They don't just accuse you. You get me? They're not like that. They have more manners. They have more decency. Like that. Their evil is within, you know? It's more within, okay? But non-Muslims, okay, they actually go out and harass people. It's like that. It's like, for them, it's more external. You know, they don't restrict each other in their homes in that sense. It depends. Evil humans will always do that, right? I just mean in terms of like Muslim, like what they practice, what they go, okay, like that. So if demons ever used Muslims, that's when I was like at a job. That's when I was at a mosque. You see what I'm saying? It's like that's sort of within. They see you're a Muslim, and they just want to be perverted. Like that. They would just harass me. If I tell them to not ever speak like that again, then they just lie about me. They just accuse me. It was always a Muslim who accused me. You know, it was rarely. Okay, and then at some point they started to use non-Muslims, but it was really rare. It was always Somali. It was always Muslims who would accuse me. And usually it was always African. You know, because demons are, again, it's their choice who they pick. It doesn't matter, okay? But that's because that's the race that demons use to adopt me. So it's like they're constantly being used to commit sin against me. They're always sinning against me. They're committing very heinous sins against me always. Even in the jail, even though, right, the United States, it was Texas. It actually is outnumbered, right? The sort of people you call white, right? Europeans outnumber the African Americans in Texas. But the entire jail was taken over by African Americans. All I saw was them. You see? Because demons just replaced all the other cops with them. You know? Because there you go. God is the one putting me in the persecution. It's not demons. And it's not humans. Okay? It's not humans. Therefore, God picks which demographic of his creation I see that moment. You know? So at some point, there were times I just saw demons use European humans a lot. Like that. It depends who I see. There are times demons were just using Muslims, and non-Muslims were nice, okay? And then there are times the non-Muslims became the problem. It doesn't matter, okay? There's evil everywhere. It's just demons, right, are being made by God to use a certain group at a certain time, because I need to learn what's wrong with that group at a certain time. So the Africans is these situations, right, where they're sort of harassing other races that God was teaching me something they're not usually known for, right? Because I'm a different race. They're harassing me. But then 2, when they were sort of like cops, right? That's just God's way of teaching me. A lot of them, the evil they do in jails, you know? The way they just do so much evil now. After they've been abused, right? Their ancestors were abused. The children of those ancestors today who are Africans, who are African Americans specifically here, are now becoming the abusers like that. So it's like I'm just being taught something. So then I'm being taught how they do it, Their personality, the way they work together like that. They're very submissive to Europeans, just so you know. That's why they rarely target them for crime. They just target their own race like that. And other people maybe to some degree. Like they target Asians to some degree. And you guys can't be like, I don't know what I'm talking about, right? You already know. Around COVID time, they started to target Asians. That's what I'm saying. They're not going to target Europeans. That's how you know. I'm laughing because I just want you to see how demons control God's creation. They literally control them that easily. They choose who you target. Don't you agree? If you're evil, you want to target someone, you could use that as a reason. The fact that they targeted your people in the past, right? Don't be like, well, that'd be more righteous. No, I'm talking about evil now, not justice, right? It's just not rational. You at least hate them for something, right? The evil ones among their race terrorize your people like that. They never go after Europeans because demons won't let it happen. Maybe one day it would try to happen, but to some degree they're scared of them. Okay, I'm not gonna hide that from you. Africans are scared of Europeans. Okay, that sort of weird trauma thing is happening. That doesn't mean that they think Asians are weak. No, that doesn't mean they think Africans are weak and they terrorize each other. No, it's like a choice, If they were to go to Asia, they're not going to bother people there. It's like that. It's only places where you would say they, the African Americans, or just they Africans outnumber you. You're just one Asian in that entire company like that. So it's like a human evil thing. It's just simply evil. The psychology of evil at play. That moment we won't really connect it to the trauma thing, Because, right, they bother Europeans all the time. They always harass their females all the time with catcalling and stuff like that. Evil is just everywhere, okay? But I just want you to know it won't be this sort of group-like thing. You're not going to see African Americans committing crime, you get me, against Caucasians like that because they're actually scared of them, okay? So they have that quality, right, where when their ancestors, some of them didn't do what God created you to do, fight or die, right? Fight to death or run away. They allowed themselves to be slaves and just stay there and be harmed and abused and be treated in a way that God cannot ever be accused of telling you to do. Some of them were submissive to those human beings who were treating them like a property. You all know that. They tell you there were two types of slaves. One that was like resistant and one that wasn't. So nasty. Just look at the way they phrase it, like as if it's normal to be a slave, right? But two types of human beings who were kidnapped, and treated like an object. It's better. That's how you want to phrase it. But if you say there were two types of slaves, it makes it seem as if slavery is a normal thing. That's what I'm saying. Words matter. Terminology is dangerous. Even though that person is not saying that, it's like the way you say it. There were two types of slaves. It makes it seem as if the slaves was normal, There were two types of human beings who objectified themselves. They didn't run. They didn't, fight to death. They didn't do what God created you to do. Die, goodness. Die if you have to die. Get off this earth and do the right thing. Are you sitting there letting someone harm you? Obviously, slavery obviously involved rape. So I don't know what you guys are talking about here. God have mercy. Okay, so they're not normal people. Whoever ever was a slave. They're not good people, okay? What the hell are you talking about? Why would a good person let you keep them like a property? Just rape them every day and kill them every day and shoot them every day. Go do this for me every day. What the hell is going on? Good people fight to death and they die, okay? Or you die and they get out of that environment. And if a group did that simultaneously together, if righteousness was in the heart, well, those Europeans were just a group of human beings. You kill them. All this stuff would not have happened in history. So prophets and someone like me also come to teach you to be assertive and tough. A lot of human beings today, they're just getting kidnapped by governments and they just stay that way. Okay, and I'm still being just with you, okay? It's not always that easy way, correct? For example, if someone goes to jail right now, you're not going to really say they're stupid and they're weak. And no, jail is actually a difficult place to come out of. Do you agree? all those metals, all those brick environments, hundreds of human beings there versus you get me? I don't mean like jail necessarily. I just mean the idea at the initial stage, because jail is different. Jail is a place you choose to go, right? You actually know you're gonna get arrested, you know, fine, whatever, you go through. That's different. Please don't connect it, because right, healthy, wonderful people are gonna know they're gonna get arrested. They're not gonna fight, obviously. That doesn't mean they're stupid. No, it just means that's different, right? That's actually a legal place. That's not slavery, correct? It's just the evil place too. Yeah, but you get what I'm saying. You come out, right? And the person's not agreeing to be a slave. I'm talking about the criminal that's trying to come after you and kidnap you and turn you into an object, right? Whether it's rape or slavery or whatever they want to do, you're supposed to see. You see what I'm saying? It's not you just go into jail and you'll come out tomorrow. These are not the same things. You're supposed to fight. Okay, so either they die or you die. Either way, you did a great thing. That's what God, I just want you to know how God designed you. He designed you to fight to death. He didn't design you to go. Okay? Okay, so if everybody did that, if everybody, they tried to kidnap, not just Africans, but the entire human race, whoever at some point was ever in that situation, if they always fought, we would never see rape, and we would never see slavery, we would never see trafficking, we would never see these heinous things. It's because people are not fighting. Okay? So I just want you to know, just for the sake of argument, God didn't say do that. He didn't teach you to do that. That's not your nature, and he's not happy when you do that. He wanted you to fight, and he wanted you to die in the process. Get it? If you couldn't get out of the situation, die. You'd also go to paradise quickly anyway. So it's a weakness in humans who do that. The strong ones will fight, okay? And the real strong ones, no one's going to attempt it on them in the first place. Okay? Okay. So for that reason, they're going to just attempt it on weak human beings that they know will actually agree to be taken. Demons know who they are. They actually know. Because they study the human race. They watch you every day. You just don't see them. And then the ones in the middle who would fight, okay, then they'll actually fight and you'll die, etc. like that. The situations like jail where people are right, obviously agreeing to go through this nonsensical systems that is not from God is very dangerous, right? You're not supposed to be isolated with groups of human beings like that. That's dangerous. God would never create a justice system that is like that can flip against you any moment, where you're isolated like that. No, handcuffing and all that is from demons, right? They're just evil God created. Demons are using that. It's not from God. Yeah. Human beings, the average person fights. Exactly. They resist. That's your nature because it's wrong. Because it's evil. It's like kidnapping, you know? And there you go. Those cops, they themselves one day when they're about to get arrested, they resist too. You see, they like to act like they don't think like that. Yes, they do. They're just not being arrested that moment, you know? So it's our nature to resist what is evil, you know? Some people will just lie at some point and not tell you what they also were resisting because they don't want to be on the right side, but fine. Right? Jail is something you'll come out of. That's really why strong people just agree to go through the system because it's different, right? But if a human being actually knew this cop is going to try to harm you, right? They're actually trying to do evil. It's the same thing, everybody. You're supposed to fight to death here. It doesn't matter if you die and they accuse you of being a criminal. That's up to God to fix it for you in the next life. It doesn't matter what they say about you. What the hell is going on? Does that matter? Your life, your body, your honor matters, right? It's not just a typical arrest, but it's actually evil, right? There's about to be attempted on you, and then obviously want to handcuff you first or what? Same thing. You treat them as the criminal they are. You fight to death. You know, you kill them if that's the only way out of the situation, right? Or you die because that's the way it happened. Sorry, or you die. Demons are trying to ruin my words. Or you escape, right? You're not supposed to let demons scare you. The fact that just naturally. Not naturally, sorry. Just usually, sadly, the way things are, any cop who sees you, even 911, just treats you as the criminal. See, that's how you know these systems are not from God. Because you can't even You see how dangerous this is? You can't even protect yourself when this is the condition, when this is the scenario, and maybe you want to call 911 or you want to just tell the other cops who arrived at the situation, don't know anything. You can't even be like, help me. That one was trying to harm you, right? Now that cop was a criminal. You can't. They'll just treat you like the criminal, correct? It's so sad. That's how you know they're not human. Because a human being listens to people. They hear your side. They try to see what's going on. Exactly. They don't convict people, right? You don't judge somebody. You don't know what's going on. If you ever saw an employee and they were kicking you out of a store and another employee entered the building, don't you have the ability to talk to them calmly? Is there any rush? No, right? So that's how cops are supposed to be trained. You know, even if you have a gun, they're supposed to be trained to actually treat you like that employee that's a second person, a second, right, person in the situation or a third party. Actually listen to you and see what's going on. What happened? Are you actually the victim here? Or are you actually a criminal? Or is their coworker, the cop, the criminal, right? Or are they like that? The fact that they're just trained to always work together against you, that's obviously not your God teaching them that. As if evil doesn't exist, as if evil doesn't come out of them or something, as if they're not a human like you, as if what the hell is going, they're treating themselves like a fake God. Do you agree? So the fact that you're scared of that scenario I just told you, right, to protect your life, you all are scared. You hope you never get into such a situation where a cop is trying to harm you, and right, you're strong, healthy people. All human beings have the power to protect themselves. You want to use that greatness. You want to fight. But then, you know, when you get out of that situation, which a lot of humans do, obviously, evil is always weaker than you. I just want you to know, even if you're an evil human, this moment, another evil human trying to bother you, you're stronger now. It's always good is strong that moment. Whoever's on the good side, whoever's on the victim side is always good. Just so you know. I'm sorry. Whoever's on the victim side is always stronger. Just so you know. God did not create you, you know, that evil just somehow physically stronger than you or something. No. Doesn't matter if they're a group. You'll just boom, 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 fight, resist, bite them or something. You just run. That's all. That's it. You just need to get out of the situation. You know? He always gave you that ability to do that. They're always going to be defeated. You know? So that's why they try to get people. And then so, okay, good is always strong, evil is always weak, and whoever's on the victim side is always that moment strong, if let's say whether they're good or bad. Okay, and then that's it. You run. The fact that you're all scared of that scenario, that was you that day, that when you see a cop, you can't just be like, hey, that cop just tried to, you know, do ABC crime. That's why I'm running. Can you help me? The fact that you can't even do that, you're scared this one will just shoot you. Or there you go. That's how you know these systems are not from God. Don't be like, oh, that cop just didn't listen to them. It's not the cop who's not listening. Don't actually blame that specific human and be like, they were just, no, that's just how they're all trained. So the system is not just the problem. Common sense, right? It means they're just evil humans. Get it? Except one or two that only God knows. It just means they're all evil. Because exactly good people, for the sake of argument, if they took this job, they have that quality of being like, what's going on? Why? They actually would listen to you. They actually want to know what's going on, you know? So the fact that you know that's a rare occurrence, you just know the second, third, fourth, fifth cop who sees you will just treat you like the other one because the other one just said so. You just simply are the one who's not a cop, and automatically to them that means they should just chase you. You know that these are evil humans who do these jobs. Because exactly, why is that an automatic guarantee? Why do they just chase you and shoot you? Where is the communication? Aren't we human beings? When we have a job, don't we treat each other like humans? Do we treat each other like we're gods over each other? No, right? Fake gods. So then why is that quality not in law enforcement? The listening. That you're trying to understand what's going on. Since they usually get shot at. Exactly. Then don't approach the person running away. There's many ways to communicate with them, right? You can be in your car and driving behind them and being like, what's going on? Like, you can still communicate. It doesn't mean it doesn't mean cops are being told to put themselves in danger, right? Again, no one's being told to be dumb on either side, No one's telling cops to then approach these people who are running away, which at some point is a good person, at some point is a victim, at some point is an evil. No one's telling you to just do one thing, correct? No, just do what is normal. What you yourself would want. What is just common, what is just simply good. Morality. Understand the situation. Is your colleague the evil one? This human running for their life. The fact that automatically you don't have that quality in your job, and your job just teaches you to chase people. Okay, good people will not take that job. So it's only evil humans, that's your evidence they take these jobs. Because a good person can't do it. They're going to quit. They're going to be like, what did you just tell me? They're not going to just be like, I'll just take the training, but I'll do the moral thing that day if I ever see. No, they can't. These are demons who created these systems. These evil humans are possessed by very dangerous demons, very violent demons. You think they're not going to target that good person who wants to do that job, but wants to do it this way? No, they're going to target them. They're going to report them for being something, anything. So-and-so couldn't do this. They failed this test. They'll just do, and there you go, accusation. Just like prophets, they'll just accuse you. It's just, they're going to accuse you rather than some other way of kicking people out of something. Demons like to kick you out of something that you have the right to have by just accusing you of not having the ability, credentials, qualifications, etc. to have it. Because the goal is to look like they're the good ones and you're the bad. They have to accuse. They can't actually say something like, oh, we don't want you at this job, leave. Exactly, because then that would make the public say, hey, you evildoers. And okay, evil humans don't like to be exposed. But I want you to know why. It's because demons don't like to be. It's because demons have an agenda, correct? They're just using them. The evil human is not the one with the agenda. The demon is the one with the agenda. So it's the demon who's really saying, let's accuse people who are innocent. So that then, they, the demon, aka the bad human they're possessing, can pretend to have, done what they did out of a fake moral reason they created. Exactly, by accusing the victim. Okay? So it doesn't mean you just simply think your prophets are just going to teach cops to just do the right thing. No. The whole system is not from God. Because the system is making a creation of God act fake dominant over you. Okay? They're acting as if they can just touch you, just grab you. It's perversion. It's just nasty. It's just weird. A lot of the things considered crime. You get me? Do you believe a hotel staff can just grab you? And no, You say to them, I dare you to touch me. But you can't say that to a cop, correct? They just touch you. If you resist, you go to jail. You see? Other human beings who also have similar jobs, they also have to maintain. They also have to maintain, whatever building they're working in, that hotel staff, that just staff at any other place of employment. The way they're going to treat you, as a human being, the way they're going to talk to you, the way you have the right to just leave, the way that you would never deal with someone trying to act like they can just touch you, That does not exist in these jobs in government. They act like they can touch you, which is a perverted behavior. Righteous people of God in history didn't have that quality of just grabbing criminals and touching you. You get me? You don't just touch human beings. The systems that God taught them to set up as prophets, it's not going to involve these types of situations. But maybe you're just told to just make it nicer or moral. No, the whole system is demonic. You're always supposed to feel like they're an employee. When they're cops, you're always supposed to feel like they're just like that cashier. The way you could never feel like they could act like they can just grab you or touch you or like that. That's just the right for your body to be free from them is what I'm talking about. And it's only in a situation where an actual evil human is trying to attack others. That, okay, it's just that humanity, you just stopping them. That's what they would look like if God's laws were here and good people took important jobs in the courts that God himself will set up on earth. Exactly. It's just that human way of helping someone, just stopping this bad human like that. It's not going to have this fake dominant type of thing, you know? And that behavior is perversion of going on top of people, you know? You can try to restrain somebody's hands, right? So 'cause they don't kill someone, but going on top of people, including when humans usually fight, even females when they fight, the way they actually go, right, on top of the human stomach, right? That's perversion. I'm not going to explain to you what I'm talking about. A human being God created or a creation God created does not go on top of your body unless they're perverted. If righteous people were actually to be aggressive, exactly, they're just going to hit you. It's like boom, and you might fall to the ground. That's it. It's like a discipline. It's like a hit, you know, but it was very strong. You maybe fall or something. They usually use objects. You get me? Because they don't want to touch your body, and that's obviously even more better because it's obviously more physically injurious. Like that's how righteous people punish you. You know? If they ever had to use their hand, they just slap you in a way that you're gonna just get the hell out of the way. But no one is gonna go on top of your body. That is perversion. That is something only perverted humans do. You do not go on top of a human unless you're perverted. So that's why you see it and you feel scared. Your stomach, I don't mean like fear. I mean like the sort of gut that tells you something is right, demonic or evil or bad. That's it, everybody. When you see cops going on top of people, or when you see citizens acting like they can arrest somebody, right, or maybe help the cop, the way all they do, the way you know they're evil humans trying to take advantage of that situation, they're really happy and excited, right? It's exactly how hyper they seem. They seem hyper. Okay. Wait, where should I hold? Okay. They're just so happy. Because it's an act of fake dominance. It's an act of perversion. It's an act trying to, right, take advantage of someone's body. They just go on top of them. And there you go. Just look at their bodies like they're proud of themselves. Like that. Like a kid, like a big fat face, you know, because they obviously don't look like a kid, right? They're adult. So it's like a gigantic kid, you know? That's how you know evil humans, right? When they want to act like good Samaritans or whatever. It's the way they actually act like they're helping somebody. It's just nasty. It's creepy. It's weird. It's very showy. If you were in that situation and you were the person they were grabbing like that, the way if you put yourself in that scenario, you feel, okay, if you would say to me, ew, gross, or I feel violated, that's it. Don't watch that video and then think whatever, right? That human is also the same. Therefore, their body was just treated in that violated way. Okay, whatever you would not want done to you, if it's done to someone else, we have the same evil here. That human is a victim to it then, so it's not from God. God teaches you to just maybe stop the person, right? Just restrain them or something. But no one's gonna teach you as a prophet to go on top of people's stomachs and bodies, right? Put your body over them. And even when you're restraining them, exactly, restrain them like some object or something, right? Or be brutal or be like that. That's just that you don't have that right. You're not their God. Their body doesn't belong to you. You're a creation. You just created to simply told to stop evil. You can't be like, I don't know how to do it then. Yes, you do. You just normal way God created. You know in your nature how to just stop bad. You're just evildoers. You lie. All you do is lie. No one's going to listen to you. But when good people are warriors or they stop something, you'll see it. They just do it in a righteous, very moral way. Never touch that person. You know what I mean? In a creepy way or weird way. But then other human beings who act like they're helping you, right? Or supporting you or stopping a criminal, that doesn't mean they're good people. I've seen demons possess these perverted males when I was in airlines. Just so that God shows me how demons take advantage of things. They like to set you up for difficulty and then bring perverts around you. So my bag was like gone for a long time. And then when I see it, you know those sort of wheeler things in the airport where they just go in a circle all day? You know, that baggage area, right? My bag wasn't even that heavy, but it's just I needed some time to pick it up, right? Because it's obviously that sort of wheel is going, right? That sort of automatic thing that just keeps going. I was strong enough to grab it. But demons are attacking my mind with fear that those perverted males are going to be possessed to come close to my personal space if I look away from them for a split second, because they were possessing mobs of humans to terrorize me back in 2021 when this was happening, when I was traveling. You get me? So is they sensitizing me to that fear, so I can't just relax and grab my bag, right? I'm using my peripheral vision to just watch my back all day. You see? So I can't really focus on my bag then, right? So when I grab it, it's not perfect enough, but it's still okay, right? I still grab it. It's like, boom, they run towards me so fast. Okay, what do they want the rest of the people in that environment to think? Good Samaritans, good men, righteous men, moral people, good people, kind people. Maybe not good, but at least they had good intention. That's what they want you to think they are. But they're perverts trying to take advantage of that situation. Now, many times they set up because they make you feel their intention and you're already uncomfortable, right? Anxious because of the evil criminal intent coming out of an evil human. And that sort of stress it causes you, distracts you, and now you might make a mistake, drop something like that. And boom, they run towards you, acting as if they want to pick it up for you. It's just to touch you. Okay, so God has showed me how demons are always trying to touch you. And sometimes 80% of the time, they're setting you up for a situation where they can get close to you and try to touch you and act like this human they're using to try to touch you, who's also committing the same sin, somehow is a good person or something. You know that they're not, right? The other human beings, they want to pretend to be good in front of them. So I want you to know a lot of these videos on YouTube and all these hero stories and all these hero cops and a lot of these human beings, you don't even know. For example, these males, you don't even know if they've committed rape or murder. Evil humans don't like to expose themselves. A rapist could be walking free today. He might see someone committing crime, like a theft. He might just go in that store and act like he's helping that cashier. Literally. You see what I'm saying? It doesn't mean evil can commit heinous sins like rape and then come over here and this moment is an independent situation and he's actually doing something good today. Please do not mock us. Do not mock right versus wrong. Don't make me sick and want to get off this earth and go to the sky and go. No. Evil human beings like this, right? And someone we would actually say is filthy. And okay, this who they are. This actually their identity. Do not turn it into a behavior. Don't turn rape and murder into behaviors. It's a character. That's who they are. They're not going to have moments where, no, don't insult us. That's just the moment they're using to do fake good behavior in order to hide who they are. If they want to repent one day, we're not saying humans cannot repent in such scenarios like that. We don't call them human. They're filth, obviously. But just because God likes to give them a choice to repent doesn't mean I'm going to treat them like human. Hell no. We separate God from ourselves in these situations where he created us to hate evil. He didn't create us just because he lets them repent. So then, just as if then now we have to treat them like they're good people or something. Okay, so God gave us that right. It doesn't mean we're coming up with our own analogy here or analysis. Okay, his actions as a God, you separate that from your own feelings and thoughts that he created in your nature as a creation, which is our right to hate evil and transgressors. Okay, so these ones, right? Just because God allows them to repent doesn't mean God is saying then treat them like a good person or something. No, the repentance just means something else. You know, it's like saying they don't want to continue being that way. Okay, but God is not saying they're not like that. You see, he's not saying they're good or something. Okay, so don't flip it. They're filth and that's who they are. Okay, God have mercy. Still gonna go to hell and get punished accordingly. But I'm just saying, this is the psychology of perverts. It's the most disturbing evil God created. It's something they can hide under normal behavior. Do you agree? Perversion at some point can hide under normal behavior. Right? Because humans are already created by God to touch each other in normal ways, correct? Normal ways. Someone falls to the ground, I swear to God, they broke their leg. Out of humanity, true moral innocence, right? True purity, you help them. You right, with their permission, you hold their hand and you help them stand up. That touch, right? If perversion can just mimic that, you know that we're doomed, right? You and I are doomed when it comes to perversion. And it's gonna run around this earth pretending to be good every day. Woo! That's when I get mad at God and I always say to him, why are you doing this to us, you know? But you get the point. It is something that really is not gonna just be the typical perversion. It's also gonna act like it's doing normal behavior, good behavior, Samaritan behavior, but it's just a creep trying to touch you. You might be like, what's the solution? We limit situations where humans could do that. Since demons are always being made by God to do behavior around me, where I see how they came up with the idea, right? How they use the environment against me, how they use the situation against people sometimes that I see. It's like I already know how we can structure our infrastructure in a way that we don't ever create ways that exactly unknowingly, right, that then the perverts can take advantage of it and other criminals can take advantage of it. We just don't create buildings and environments and human social situations and environments where humans come together as customers and employees. We don't create holes, right, that humans have already created in past infrastructure. We don't build them the exact same way. We don't build those ways that humans communicate with each other in those environments the exact same way that it is today. It has to be different. It should be a way where all perverts just want to leave this earth and kill themselves. Because there's just no hole. There's no... We have to create things in a way where all perverts just want to leave this earth and kill themselves. Because there's just no... There's no sort of possibility to do their perversions and all their other evil in covert ways. We block them from every method they could ever use. Everything is built in a way where you have your independence. You can take your time in places where people are rushing you and exactly perverts can get close to you. Like that. Busy places, crowded places, crowds, the whole idea of a crowd. All this stuff comes from demons. You know? To not give people their personal space. I don't mean people coming together. It's from demons, right? A huge crowd. No, I mean a situation where it's set up in a way where you cannot protect your personal space. You know? Like it's structured against you. We should always structure it in a way where you can move around comfortably. You can exit comfortably. Let's say there's a prophet, right? And they're giving a lecture or something and hundreds of people are listening like that. They really, God would guide them to think of ways to help you all sit away from each other. You know? Still created in a way where it's like everyone has their own seat or something. Like they're still gonna protect you from things like that. That's how much they're thinking. That's how righteous they are and pure they are when it comes to their sexuality and their character. That's why God creates the program where they accuse the being perverts after their death. Not during their life or during the persecution, but after their death. So, yeah. It's just your extreme opposite is what you're accused of.